back to another episode of the T and the Net. The T representing Uncle Iroh, the Net representing the Apostle Andrew. These are two characters or people that I feel like represent the spirit of adventurousness, wisdom, gentleness, kindness, and having a positive impact on everyone they meet. Mika, this is my good friend Benny. Benny is someone that I learned a lot about leadership from, specifically how to be a good leader by being by example, by being like the servant. And I learned a lot of that from powerlifting, but I've also seen him do that through his experience going through med school. And say hello to the world, Benny.
What's up, everybody? How you
Yes.
doing?
The 3 viewers who watch this are going to be very happy that you said hi. So I learned a lot from you through our experience powerlifting. You were on the e-board when I was a layman on the team, and then you were the president when I was secretary. And we spent a lot of train rides home discussing things, and also I learned a lot about you from seeing you handle various stressful situations. And so I'm curious to see what you've learned about leadership since we had those regular discussions going through different hardships. I know that you started and ran a clinic in Chicago where you're doing med school, and I'm sure you've taken up other leadership positions because that's the kind of person that you are. So if there's anything that you learned, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike, for having me on your podcast. It's a real honor, honestly, and thank you for the kind words, as always. I look back to the days where we had those train rides, 11 p.m. at night. I didn't know I was teaching you anything at the time. I think we were just trying to survive, and another day of practice, another day of gear. So, thinking back, okay, so let me rebuttal your question to kind of get an idea of like what exactly got your gears turning when you saw my examples? Like what made you what did you do with the things you learned after you saw X, Y, and Z?
What did I do?
Yeah.
Or what did I learn?
Just for the audience to know, it's like, what do you learn? What? I'm trying to understand what the hell I did, because I was just being me back in my younger days.
So, for one, I saw that you generally handled conflict like head on. If you knew there was an issue, you generally just went and solved it. I think when issues festered, a lot of time it was not because you didn't know about it. So if there was an issue that you knew about, you went and you resolved it. And I also think that you never asked anyone to do anything that you hadn't already done or you hadn't been willing to do. So when you were on e-board, none of the e-board members got a harder task than you had to do when you were on e-board the previous year. And you were also always willing to do whatever you asked someone on e-board if they weren't willing to do it.
Okay. Well, so for that statement, I gotta really thank JROTC from North Quincy. So last 2 years of high school, joined ROTC. Familiar with what ROTC is?
Yeah, like the Reserve Officer Training Club.
Yeah, for juniors, so for high school students to kind of get exposed to that culture. We had a retired sergeant in charge of the whole class, and he, I think, was probably one of the best role models I had in my life. And he was the one that taught me to lead by example, because that's exactly what he did to a bunch of 16-year-olds leading by example. I think I took that message to heart when I took any leadership position down the road. So spotting and loading, like I would want to, if I told people to go spot and load, like I do that, I want to be there too. And I'm glad it made a positive impact on people. And when I gotta tell you, it is tiring. It is tiring to lead and be present all the time, because then you have to be present for every event, and then you kind of have the feeling of being spread thin, because at the end of the day, I think NEPL was a group of 30-ish members.
Yeah, 30 men that you were responsible for, plus the 20 women that you coordinated with.
Yeah. So it can get pretty tiring, and going into Chicago, or going to med school in Illinois, to be exact. I was not in the city of Chicago. I wish I was. I think a lot of the positive feelings of when we went back to coach, to volunteer coach NUPL, a lot of those feelings were, we left feeling like, wow, I want to do something like this in med school. So when I went to Illinois, I basically started a strength club there, knowing what I know about leading by example and all the, I guess, difficulties I had going through NPL, but also the success, having learned all those lessons. Started a new club and essentially first definitely still led by example. So meaning if I were to start up a new volunteer, I should be the one to know the ins and out of what's going on. I should be the one to be able to explain to anyone, here's the plan, here's what we're doing. And kind of similar efforts of just showing genuine passion in what you do. I gotta hand it to you though. Where I set up the team, it was sort of a commuting campus, so it never really took off like a university team, unfortunately. But I think we did.
And at Rosalind Franklin.
Yeah.
So I'll say two things. One, I assume everyone who's watching this knows me personally, so you know that NUPL means Northeastern University Powerlifting. But in case you didn't know that, NUPL is Northeastern University Powerlifting,
Yep.
Which is where I got to know Benny really well.
Yeah. Likewise.
And I know that at Rosalind Franklin, I think you got the club up and running. Jordan Larson, who was an NUPL alum, I think.
Yeah.
He got the paperwork started at least for that. But do you think that the powerlifting or the strength group that you started at Rosalind Franklin was like a failure because it didn't self-sustain the way that NUPL was self-sustained? Or do you think, or is it, I mean, is the group still there?
I think it's definitely not as active as when I had my e-board. I think I was just lucky to find 5 other individuals that had a similar mindset of creating an organization where we can teach, where we can do workshops, where we can do volunteer. And we did all that while I was the president for the team. So we had all these kind of side arms implemented. We reached out to external organizations and did a volunteer workshop day with them, with 3rd graders. We did various volunteers for special needs or special disability people as well. We did a workshop with them. And then we also did the teaching strength aspect. So we did a lot, but the problem is it's hard to find a group like that when you transfer it to a new person. And the thing about graduate school is usually 2 years. So someone's done with graduate school by 2 years. Or if it's kind of like my path, you're technically unavailable to do any extracurriculars by your 2nd year because your 3rd year is so busy. And so that's the difference between graduate clubs versus undergrad, where you're in an organization for 4 to 5 years, depending on how your schooling goes. And so you can't build deep roots. It's very difficult to build deep roots into an organization. A good example would be like NUPL freshman year, all the way to your senior year. Like that has feeling. That's just not lifting. It's a team, it's your personality, it's your life for 4 years. And that is very hard to instill when you only have less than 2 years with the organization. So I think that's why it was such a struggle. Do I regret any of it? Not really. I think when I was president, there were a lot of wholesome moments, actually, especially when we got an event to be successful. There were just everyone coming together, having fun at a workout was always a very just revitalizing moment, especially when you're bombarded with books. So I have no regrets. In terms of the resume building, that it kind of helped. Definitely is not as praised upon compared to, say, like if you published a paper. It's definitely not the same value, but I no regrets spending my time doing it. Honest, just because there's some really pleasant memories doing it. Like honestly, really, really fun times in an unfamiliar place.
Nice. I'm glad that you had some really fond memories. The question that I want to ask is, you were saying that the kind of the leading by example leadership can be exhausting, can spread you thin.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not very scalable.
It's tough.
So there's like an opposing kind of school of thought where a good leader should be able to delegate and to trust and those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that is an opposing school of thought that like clashes, or do you think those are like possible to do well hand in hand, or do you have like any experience that kind of demonstrates that, or not, or just a thing?
That's a good question, honestly. I think I won't call it as opposing. I don't know if I'll call it opposing in the sense of I think both strategies, delegation versus leading by example, they have their moments and they have their role in defining a good leader. And I think it depends on the size of the organization. You say it's not scalable. I agree. I don't think it's scalable, leading by example, because it becomes a point where you just can't physically be 10 places at once, right? But I think for the leadership positions that you've been through, like we've been through together, I think they were small enough for us to try and lead by example. And to be honest, there weren't many moments, not too many moments of that aside from the volunteer work, the extra stuff we had to do outside of practice. I think those were key moments where you had to show, okay, like I'm the president, I have responsibilities, I gotta show up and lead the examples for the freshmen or the rookies for the team. I think those were really the only moments that had it, but they still were tiring. They still were tiring. Oh man, so that pretty much meant all your weekends. Most of your weekends were kind of busy. If it was peak season for spotting and loading or any other side volunteer event we had going on. I think my time as well was kind of a little bit murky with I think I was working overnights during that timeline as well. I think that summer and fall quarter, I was on co-op. And I just happened to land a co-op where I was working night shifts. And that sucked. That absolutely sucked. I think I crashed on your back porch couch after practice a couple of times. Just to kind of get ready for the night shift. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that being quite brutal for you.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't ever do that. don't ever lift and do overnights. Bad idea.
And I mean, it was tough. I remember that year in particular, we had some really high intensity programming. It was one of the highest intensity programs I've ever run.
3 at 9, 2 at 8. My old word. Might as well just take my spine right now.
I remember like failing these things by like missing like 50 pounds. I like had to lower the weight by like 50 pounds to like actually hit the targets.
Yeah. Looking back, the only thing I do regret about NUPL is I wish I took my nutrition seriously. And what I mean seriously, I mean I wish I counted how much protein I was actually taking in. I think I got bulk of my calories through fats and mostly carbs. So I get it, that can still build you muscle, but I think that fills your weight class out faster than if you actually had a strategic way of filling it out and actually putting on strong muscle. That's, I think, my biggest regret. I wish I trained harder, but most importantly, I wish I ate better. And not necessarily clean, like just
better.
A little more strategic.
Yeah.
I really wish I did that. Regrets. A lot of regrets there.
Well, since we were normally competing against schools that had kids coming from a more strength training culture, we probably usually had the weakest class of freshmen out of any of the schools we're competing against, and so like to get kids stronger faster, the encouragement was always gain weight. Like you'll be more competitive in the next weight class than you will be if you stay in your current one, probably.
Yes.
So it was like that was always the encouragement. It was always wasn't train better, was gain weight faster, and then you'll be strong. And now like a lot of when we were there, a lot of our real serious competitors were in the heavier weight classes or in the super light weight classes, right? To be competitive in the weight class that you were in, which was 93 kilos, that was a popular weight class to be in. So a lot of people were there, had already been strength training for years, maybe 5 more years than you at that point.
And during puberty as well. That's maximum testosterone right there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Don't mention testosterone on this podcast. You're gonna get me on a rant.
Maybe that's what I want to do. Cheers to that. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, I think, all things aside too, I think I'm really happy I stuck with tryouts and made the team. I think it's being around just knuckleheaded but strong individuals that made you do hard shit. Like it was not fun to come to practice. If
You're gonna curse on this podcast, man?
sorry, it made you do hard stuff. You can edit that out.
No, we're gonna leave it in. This is raw. I'm too lazy to edit.
Yeah, but it was hard. Like it was if there wasn't motivation to show up and practice till 10 p.m. on a school night, and personally I had a 1 hour commute after to get home, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't love the team.
Yeah.
And I think that is a virtue I've learned of. If you really want to achieve something, you really want it that bad, you gotta love it. You gotta do it. Some nights will suck. I guarantee some nights are gonna suck, but you stick with it long enough, and you're doing it in the right way, as in training together, doing your accessories, following the program, eating, sleeping, which I wasn't doing at the end of my year. You will get something of value. Not necessarily have to win the championship, but you will get a virtue out of it. And I think I'm really happy that NUPL taught me discipline. It taught me just perseverance through tough times, especially during career season. Oh, torture. But it did teach you how to not be a wimp and go for it. Looking back, there were hard times. I appreciate the mental fortitude it gives me now to tackle upcoming mountains, or even the mountain I feel like I'm climbing right now. So it's a good place to be. I think it's a good place to be. I see the growth in yourself to Khalil. I think you can look back, freshman Khalil to senior Khalil, the personality changes, and I have a feeling it's through the sport and the people you met through the sport, and seeing how that college graduate Khalil is transforming now too. It's just a snowball effect almost. I think a lot of the growth that I'm observing currently, I think it comes from somewhere of the origin of Googling how to deadlift.
What's a deadlift?
What is a deadlift? How to deadlift? Who is deadlift? So I think it's one of those moments where this hero's journey picture I'm trying to explain right now, it just take that leap of fate. And I think that moment for both of us was during tryouts. Like, do we just quit week 1, not come back, fuck it, join another club? Sorry, but that was leap of fate. Do we come back? Will they cut us week 1? I don't know. Will we come back for week 2 and max out? Sure, and we did. And I don't think we did anything spectacular, but
not for me at least.
Not me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the Googling how to deadlift, I went to the info session for tryouts freshman year, and they were like powerlifting, a squat, bench, and deadlift, and I didn't know what a deadlift was. So there's actually a picture that they posted on the Instagram, and I'm in it, of the info session, and I'm sitting there like trying to Google what's a deadlift in the photo, and certainly in tryouts. The first week where they show us how to bench a bar, I couldn't bench the bar.
Yeah.
I needed someone to
move
assist it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guide the path.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I went with Eric Kim afterwards, and I was like, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you show me how?
Yeah.
And Eric Kim is I love that guy. I mean, for sure, if there's no Eric Kim and no NUPL, I live a very, very different life. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. There's a lot of growth to be had from the NUPL experience, and I think it's almost a shame now that a lot of the kids are really good at powerlifting, or they're really strong when they come in. Yeah. Because there's a lot of kids who probably would have benefited if they could be absolutely inexperienced and still get to be surrounded with the people from NUPL. I think they're all great, and they're still great. I mean, I don't know too many of them now, but
that kind of giving them a chance type of mentality, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. It was definitely a tough one. I remember. I don't know how your elections for the selecting the team went, but I remember hours.
Well, it was COVID year, so we weren't allowed to hold tryouts, so we can't cut anyone. So we kind of.
It's allowed to go on the podcast. I feel like we're outing the team at this point, telling behind the scenes how the selection went for our years. Does it matter or no?
I don't know. I don't know who's going to watch this podcast.
That's true.
If NUPL
comes
great.
Starts
hearing about this,
numbers don't matter, y'all.
I think they gotta know numbers don't matter.
Yeah.
maybe the strongest kid has a chance if he's young, but like if you're the strongest kid and you were a senior, odds are the strongest new kid is not competitive.
I think there's a balance of being competitive and then fucking up the team culture. Sorry, messing up the team culture. I feel because you can have the strongest kid, but if his personality is absolute garbage, I feel like I don't want to be stuck with that for 4 years or a year even.
Yeah,
I think we had a few before our presidency, before our e-board time that made it on the team and we kind of questioned his personality, and I think it made practice not as fun. It was kind of toxic. I'm not gonna say names, but
I think we also had the other way around where there's some kids who powerlifting wasn't maybe that important to them and they weren't great competitors, but they understood the sport and the culture and they were entertaining and they made practice enjoyable. And so
shout out to Ian. We love you. Yeah,
Ian's on a competitive chess grind right now. I don't know where he's at right now. I don't know what his strength is right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was close to getting his first title.
I think out of everyone, looking back, I think he was probably one of the most wholesome kids, or one of wholesome teammates I've been around. It was just always a good smile, and I think that was something I always try to put forth. I know towards the end of my presidency, I was pretty stressed, and that definitely went away. But even when I was zen, I think that's generally the atmosphere I try to portray and demonstrate. It's just everything is okay. We're gonna have a good time, and even if things at present don't look hot or don't look great, just head up and just keep going. I think that's something. I think Ian personified that just 2,000 times. Yeah, way better than I can ever do. I think. Yeah, but I don't know. It was a good group. I think looking back, good group. I don't think I'll ever go through something like that in life again, where you're on a team with people on the same page, same step in life. Right? Everyone's in college. Everyone didn't really earn a lot of money. Everyone wanted to lift. I think that's hard to find because once you join these leagues outside of university, everyone is a different age, different pace in life. They have other things going on. They might not be into winning the championship as you are, like you as an individual. So it's just different versus in UPL is just one heart, one team. For the most part. It was good.
I've said this phrase like maybe 24 times in the past 2 weeks since I heard it the first time, but this just reminds me of it a little bit, where it's up through college, like your social life is a team sport, and then afterwards it's like an individual sport because like life becomes so individual after.
Yeah.
Or you're right. I think everyone is on the same page. Because even like you're right, like I'm in a men's league now, a men's basketball league.
Yeah.
Most of my teammates are like about a third of them are dental school kids. Another third are dentists. And then the other ones are a smorgasbord of other things. We've got an undergrad, I'm a software engineer. There's like a data analyst, and then there's a med student. So yeah, we are all on kind of different ways in life, but also the competition is not like we want to win and we try to win, but it's like we also all pay to be there. We all want to play, and also at the same time, the win is not necessarily as meaningful. Like men's league seasons are like 6 weeks long with like a 2-week playoff, whereas like NUPL we worked for 4 years so that we could be strong enough so that one day we had a chance, like it would be in one single day. It was the culmination of like 4 years of effort, and so that it's like a whole different thing. And so many of us were on that same, right? We were working 4 years to go win one day. I mean, some kids obviously won in a fewer years than that. Like it took them less time. Some kids were repeat champions, and they had a bunch of champions after we left. Now that the old weak guys are gone, but.
We're in a retirement home.
Yeah, we are in a retirement home.
Let's not say I was a champion. I was never a champion, but yeah.
But you work towards it. I mean, that's my point. Is like you were willing to work for 4 years towards it, and you were with other people who were working for 4 years towards it. And like obviously not everyone can be champion, but some people have to get really lucky, like me, and other people get really unlucky, like Bruskin or Louis, where they didn't get to compete the final year because of COVID.
They were putting in the work too, trying to pack on the pounds and pull the big weights. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. Like after undergrad, unless the competition you're in is a med school centered one or a doctor centered one, where like, I don't know what kind of competition doctors do. Some people want to be the most published, I guess. Some people want to make the most money. Some people want to have the greatest innovation. Maybe you and your lab or your hospital work towards that. That's the only other situation I can think where everyone's on the same page. Some things are like non-profits. It could be.
Yeah, it was a good question. Like, what do you want to do right after kind of the what do you want to do in that realm, in my realm of competition wise? I know you're absolutely right with academia. When at least if I ever end up in academia, a big institution, that's generally what they go for. The most pubs, most popular, most whatever. I think for me, life is more simple. I kind of want, at least right now, I know I want is a little more stable life, financially, location-wise. I kind of want to think about being a student for, it's going to be like almost 12 years. If I graduate, it's going to be 12 years because 4 years undergrad, 4 years med, and then, well, I guess if you include high school, it'll be 12. But let's not count 8 years. 8 years. So college was 5 for college because of co-ops, making it 5-year undergrad experience, and then 4 years of med school. So 9 years of schooling. You kind of want to get life going in the sense of travel and just other adventures, and I think that's what I look forward to nowadays. You know, do I have ambition to be a leader in an organization or doing something good with the knowledge I've gained? I think yes. There's definitely opportunities, I think, down the road as I finish up training, as I finish up residency, perhaps thinking of volunteering in some form of street medicine. I think that appeals to my roots.
Street medicine? I don't know what that is.
Street medicine, it's a very, I won't call it a vague term, but kind of providing, it's like healthcare for the homeless. There are programs like that here in Boston. I'm actually reading a book right now about Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program. It's close to BMC, but essentially it sounds what it is, right? It's providing healthcare for the homeless. And it's something, I just found the book in my closet. I started just reading it on the way here, actually. I'm just like, this is actually really wholesome. And it's, as I was reading it, it's kind of reminding me of my roots to this journey of why the hell am I decided to do this? Like, what's the point? It was never to publish 20 papers. Like, I don't care about that stuff. Academia does not appeal to me. And it's not the reason why I chose to give up a good part of my 20s, the fun parts of my 20s, to pursue this. But I think it's a genuine just wanting to do something wholesome is the best way I can say it. Just trying to help people that are less fortunate or whatnot. And part of reading the book was like, wow, it's kind of reminded me of my initial brand, like what I did to get to med school was volunteering at XYZ places, at food pantry, at hospital, just to kind of do what I can with the limited skills I have then. But I can imagine myself now after training, I'll be so much more well-equipped. Even during training, I feel I can get involved in various programs, depending on where I do my training, to have a bigger splash in that space. And I think I enjoy a lot more versus academia, where people try and flex pubs or new discoveries. Like, that doesn't really appeal to me. I'll read about them, sure. I don't want to write about them. I don't want to write to get them published. It's not what I want.
So you started a line of thinking that I was interested in.
Yeah.
Because like I did want to ask you about your experience at Haley House, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you ended up doing the program where you stayed there for a year.
No.
But I know you were considering it, and I know you volunteered there frequently. And then you were mentioning also the we live in Boston, or greater Boston area. If the programs for the homeless, like
healthcare for the homeless.
Healthcare for the homeless, yeah. I'm assuming that's a big part of why we have methadone mile, right?
Yeah.
And so that is like, I mean, that's a pressing issue in our city.
It is. Scary area to visit, but you know, what can we do?
I don't know. What can we do?
What can we do? I don't know.
I mean, not saying that you have the answer, but I'm curious to see, like, is that, are you interested in like are you interested in like the policy piece of that, or are you interested in serving these people? I guess I'm curious, like, what you were thinking when you're talking about doing street medicine, and what's your interest in the book, and where that's kind of leading you, if it's leading you anywhere at all.
I think serving is in my head right now, less so of tackling the politics, because I think that opens another bag of worms to deal with, so to speak. I think it appeals me to serve right now because I think for the last year or so, it's just been showing up to the hospital and doing as you're told. And not to say I didn't enjoy that, but it's more of I'm in the hospital. You feel like a kind of like a gear in a whole big system. You don't really feel that individuality, like, okay, I'm here on my free time to do this. I haven't been able to volunteer to do that for quite some time. So having this new sense of free time, because my schedule looks great, right now at least, kind of want to look into something like that. And I think that's why it's appealing to me. Like, even if I'm not a resident yet, to look into options of, okay, how can I give back a little with this new set of experience and skill. But it's kind of brewing still. I'm not too sure what I'll do. And also, location-wise, I might be going back to Chicago in a few months. So how much can I do right now?
I mean, part of it you're saying is like when you're in your training or wherever, I'm sure at that point you'll be there for a few years.
If I can get back to Boston, please take me. It's hard out here. Oh man, every time.
Would you be interested in doing something like a mission trip, like a medical mission? No?
I don't think I like to travel far away from home. I think I'd rather do stuff at home.
No, but like a 1 week trip?
I think it'll be out of my comfort zone. I think if I had realized anything the last 3.5 years, it would be I like habits, I like comfort. So I think if I had to, a mission trip usually involves leaving the country, right, and going to a different. Generally speaking, yeah. Sorry, mate. I think we have Boston needs a lot of help right now.
I mean, the thing usually one of the things that makes medical missions possible is that you go to a country with like fewer laws, and they have a greater need. So there's like you don't necessarily have to be done with your training to go and help, right? Especially like in medical stuff. So like if you wanted to go help an area in need for a little bit before you're done with the training, before you have your doctorate or whatever, you can. And there are some that I'll be willing to go with you on. Like I'm friends with some people who run them, and so it's like I'll be happy to go and like just fill in an admin role or whatever, like a triage thing while you go and put people's knees back together or whatever it is that you want to do.
I don't think that's what I want to do, but
okay.
Thank you, Khalil. I would politely decline on that offer right now, just because
Fair enough.
I think traveling gives me a little bit of anxiety at times, especially if I don't know the area well enough. Say I'm going to a little more rural place in some country. That gives me anxiety. I'm not gonna lie. Like even traveling, if I'll go to like Tokyo, I'll be excited, but a little bit anxious of like what's to come. I think it's just a personality trait I've noticed this last couple of years. I'm traveling to Illinois, living there, and then traveling XYZ places.
Interesting.
I do like my comforts. I like my tea. So.
Yeah. Fair enough. It's interesting because you were saying like the thing you're excited about the most for being done with your training and stuff is to travel.
Yeah, travel for fun. Travel for fun. Travel for fun. But I know these mission trips are usually in more rural, usually rural, low resource communities, states, or societies. So it just means you're going to be in a place where
I think you'll be surprised at how close those places are to nice places.
Yeah.
Um,
What was
they're
an
not-
example?
Hmm?
Was an example?
So my brother did like a dental mission in Guatemala and in Namibia.
Yeah.
And in Guatemala, we actually stayed at a 5-star hotel, and then they drove over
Yeah.
to like a soccer stadium
Yeah.
where they set up their mission, and then people came to them.
Mm.
And then that was in Guatemala, and in Namibia, I didn't go with them to Namibia, but my understanding is like every day they actually went to the capital city and hung out. Like after the mission part of it, they would go to the downtown area, and that was like a normal city, like a normal city that we would have here. So they're not so far apart; they're drivable distances. So granted, yeah, I mean, foreign countries, foreign languages, foreign people, foreign cultures, like. Definitely uncomfortable, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And if it's not for everyone, for sure. I was just curious to see if that was on your mind, I could help put you in touch with someone. If it's not on your mind, then I don't even have a skill set that can fit this. I'm not even capable of going on one of these things, so, and having a meaningful impact. So
I think I'm just eager to be home.
yeah, and you're allowed to be eager to be home. That's not a bad thing by any means. You've been through a lot, and you've been going through a lot, and so.
Yeah, 2025 has been a rough year.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
It's all good.
Well, hopefully we'll get you a good 2026.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's just wild to me that we're in October, and if it wasn't for a journal, a digital journal I keep, I won't have realized time was flying so quick. Thing about at school is it's kind of a bubble. If you can let it be a bubble if you want to, and so the bubble is basically what comes next, and you kind of ignore the periphery, and that's how 2025 was for the first 10 months. Was okay, we got this done. What's next? Got this done. Okay, what's next? Get your boards done. Okay, what's next? And it's just been going and going. So look forward to calming down and having a little more stability. So
yeah,
there's that.
Hopefully we can give you a good Boston Thanksgiving and a good Boston Christmas.
Yeah, hope so too. Hope so too. But I think regardless of what happens for the match next year, I'm happy with the choices I've made. I think, how to put it, gave it my shot, gave it my best shot with the time I gave to myself. And end of the day, I know that I'm gonna put on a white coat and we're gonna do some good. Try. We'll see. I think medicine nowadays, you feel more like an employee if you end up getting a job at a hospital than as much autonomy. You basically we're losing autonomy, which is not fun. Yeah, it's not great. It's the whole leader aspect out the window.
Just for a few years.
Yeah.
Then you'll be a leader, like whether you want to or not.
I guess so. When you're attending.
Yeah.
I guess.
So the guest I had on yesterday,
Yeah.
his name is Srujan, and one of the things he was talking about was about being nicer to himself. Do you think you need to be nicer to yourself?
I think in general I'm usually kind of, I like myself. Not in a narcissistic way. I think in general I usually don't talk down to myself. I think that's part of the gear mentality. You gotta hype yourself up before you load on a obnoxious weight on your back that you might not make the squat. It's always a nice up talk. So I think in general, nicer to yourself. I think that only applies when I'm seeing social media. I think that's why I got off of platforms like Instagram, because the comparison aspect can be pretty automatic. You see someone post beach, nice vacation, while you're at home, you see all your books laid out. I'm like, crap, this sucks. I think nicer in that regard. Otherwise, I feel not for me. No, I don't think I necessarily feel that. But I'm curious, what do you stand on that?
Am I nice to myself? That's something I'm working on. I think so. The year after we did the President's Cup,
Yeah.
Which we just got like a bunch of NUPL presidents or former presidents to compete in the Massachusetts State Championships. I competed in the state championship again, and then after that, I ended up straining my back, and then I strained my hamstring, and then I strained my glute, and then I strained my back. So I like in the 2 years since the 2023 state championship, I've had like 8-ish injuries that took me out for like 2 weeks, 2 weeks to 6 months, depending on the injury, but just a series of them. So I've been in PT since then. Since the most recent one, I've been in PT for a couple months. I go to Kate.
Shout out to Kate.
Yeah, Kate for school.
Solid.
If Kate tells you to do anything, if Kate tells you to jump off a cliff, I would do it. It would probably increase your squad. That's like if Kate tells you to do something, it's probably a good idea. And I think I didn't realize how much of my like self-esteem came from being strong. It's like now I'm not as strong as I was. Like I might be stronger than the average Joe or stronger than like the people I generally am next to, but like still much weaker than me in 2023. And so I've been struggling with a negative like self-talk for the past 2 years, and so that's part of the reason I picked up running. Anyone who's talked to me about running in the past like month or so will know that I saw this thing where like the number one differentiator between who makes the seals or not is like if you run your 4 mile in 28 minutes versus you have like a 7% chance of making the seals or something. But if you run it in 24, you run the 4 mile in 24 minutes, then it goes up to like 33%. So like that's like the biggest indicator of like if you're gonna make the seals or not. And like the commentary that I saw on that was basically like to be able to train your 4 mile enough to bring it down to 24 minutes, which is really fast. I mean,
that's really fast.
I mean, that's 6 minutes a mile for 4 miles.
Yeah, that's really
I can't run a mile. I can't run a mile in 6 minutes right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what that speed translates to, like on the treadmill or whatever.
What's your mile training like right now? I'm curious too. I'm really happy you're doing this, by the way. It was just the mile training, the cardio training. So
the fastest I've run, I ran a 5K in like just under 38, and I've run 4 miles in 52 minutes.
Okay.
Nice. So it was like there's slow paces for sure, but a lot of the motivation was, well, I don't like the voice in my head.
Yeah.
So if this is where I can confront the voice in my head, then let me do that. And so my thinking is basically like, I don't care who wins, me or the voice in my head, but like, let's get us in a death cage match and like, let's just duke it out. Yeah. And so that's kind of, I think it's definitely helping. It's not as like immediate as I was hoping, and I'm still not running very frequently. I'm running like, I'm running once a week, and then I'm doing other things. Like I have 2 days of resistance training, and then I try and play basketball at least once or twice a week. Yeah. And that ends up being a ton of activity. Like I usually feel pretty beat up. That's 5 days of activity that is usually towards failure. Strong.
Does Kate approve of this?
I mean, Kate knows it. I don't think approve is a strong word. I think she's willing to accept that my recovery is going to be slower than the average Joe, because I don't usually follow her program too much, and I injured myself multiple times, like diving on a basketball for the men's league.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! She was like, "Well, more customers."
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind like I have decent coverage through work, so I don't mind I don't mind having to go to Kate once a week of perpetuity. That's also like I end up having a 40-minute workout with Kate every week. Nice.
Nice. Hi, Kate. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, she's really busy now. I think when I first started going,
chill. I think
there was a lot more availability. Now she's not available, which is a good thing. I'm like happy for her.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well.
So I mean, I'm trying to. I think I'm gonna start running more frequently than maybe twice a week, and because right now if I run 4 miles every week, the hard part is like having the willpower to actually do it for 4 miles. So I have an accountability partner that I usually run with on Thursdays. Shout out David.
I'm curious your take if you were to do 15 minutes daily, if you have your once a week 4 miler, but you every other day or every day besides the 4 miler, you start the day with a 15-minute kind of like a self-gratitude, self-affirming walk on the hill, like on a treadmill or something. You think?
My problem with start the day things is I start the day when I need to work. Like when it's like, and I've tried, and my alarm is set for before I have to work.
You roll out.
I just can't. Because I don't have a ton of control over my sleep time because I split a studio.
Yeah.
And I'm harming my sleep time as much as Mark is. It's not like his fault that I'm sleeping past midnight.
Yeah.
100% of the time. But like there are definitely nights where I can't get the sleep that I want. So like I have a hard time with morning routines in general. It's something I'm working on. So like I'm picking small things. I think a 15-minute walk is
on a hill, incline, 10.
I mean I think to get me out of my room for 10 minutes with enough time to get back to work by the time it starts, it's a much, like, it's not a big ask, but it is one that I'm not actually going to fulfill. There are smaller things that, like, gratitude journaling in the morning, or like just just journaling in the morning, which is much easier. It might take the same amount of time, but because I'm at my desk, I don't feel stressed about getting back to work. Or like a prayer rule, where I can just do that in my room and I don't have to. But there is value in the separation. So I'm like, I don't really know what I want my morning routine to look like. It's something that I'm like working through, but I'm pretty confident that, because I did that for a little bit. I did a 10-minute walk, 10-minute runs in the morning for like 2 weeks. I ended up pulling my hamstring. But I think that's because it's like, well, I'm doing there's 5 to 6 days a week where I'm doing like pretty intense exercise. So like adding another physical thing. I have a gratitude walk that I do at lunch already. It's part of my prayer rule to do a 10-minute walk in nature. And then I usually end up just walking for a little over a mile, like during lunch usually.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you have that implemented already?
Yeah. Nice. I mean, the self-talk is usually pretty bad in that walk. I'm not gonna lie. It's usually the worst.
Oh, so in that gratitude walk, the other voice is winning.
Yeah, the other
That's
voice
not good.
That's
not good, man. Okay.
Like in the death cage match,
the
thing that's frustrating with the other voice is that he doesn't kill me. He just why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting? That's the voice in the.
Well, okay. So the reason why I recommended trying doing that on a hill when you're uncomfortable for 15 minutes. It was something I started doing when I started med school, and I think that year one was probably the most stressful year of my life, because you were diving into this environment where you had no idea how things would play out. No one knows at that point in the journey. You don't know how intense school is going to be. You don't know how much time you need to dedicate to it. So there was just so much anxiety in the unknown during that time of my life. Life was happening as well. So I just remember in those morning walks I would wake up super early in the morning.
Power to you, man.
Whatever time I woke up, I had that moment, 15 minutes on a treadmill, hoodie on, music on, set that 10 incline, 3 speed, and just walked. And there'll become a point in that walk where you're huffing and puffing, because I think at my fitness level then, it was pretty hard for me. But it was those last 5 minutes of just pain and kind of huffing and puffing that you really have those conversations with yourself, telling yourself, I can do this, you're strong. And it's in those moments where you're suffering that if you can tell yourself and you can make it and do it, and that 15 minutes hits, you kind of get this physical reinforcement of, okay, I can do this. I have confidence. This is worth it. You're worth it. Mentality to start the day. And that's the reason why I say try the treadmill. If these affirming walks are more of an affirming beatdown, I think that's why NUPL, back to NUPL, like those moments taught me, it was always the hard moments that taught me something in life. Always. From leadership to just how to be a strong human being, mentally, physically. It was always the moments of being injured, suffering in gear, not making Nats as a rookie because you bombed out. Like, it was always the big L's that taught you a valuable lesson in life. And the way I kind of viewed those 15-minute walks, incline walks, during my first year of med school was these are my mini sufferings that taught me something at the end. If it just meant I can make it through the next hour preparing for this exam that was gonna be hard, but we're here and we're gonna try our best. And so it kind of was a very good, strong mental.
I'll give
Give it a shot.
I'll do it the next 4 days.
It doesn't have to, ideally morning, but hey, like if you can't do the morning, your pre-lunch walk, do that instead. Put some strong music if you put whatever music you want. I think the music is important. It creates the ambiance. Do a hood if you want, just to kind of really tunnel in that vision and just go for it. I think it's a healthy thing to let some of the frustration, some of the anger, some of the sadness, whatever emotions you have pent up, let out in a healthy way, and it worked for me. So I hope it finds some utility.
I'll do 10 minutes.
That's fine. The idea is to make it hard. The last 5, not necessarily running either.
No. The 3 miles on the highest incline, it's hard. I tried doing it for 15 minutes once. I stopped at 4. So 10 minutes will be plenty. Adjust
the incline to whatever you need. Adjust the speed to whatever you need. But the idea is you should be walking, sweaty, but your heart rate doesn't need to be 200. We're not trying to do that. Maybe like something like 160s. Kind of beating. That's why I'm hesitating on the heart rate number, because everyone's a little different. Their fitness level and the level of their zones are a little different. But somewhere where you can keep going, but you're gonna have to push a little bit. That's the feeling you should be getting the last 5-ish minutes of this walk. It's gonna suck.
Yeah. Sorry, you reminded me of something. So I joined Sunday school to teach like 11th and 12th graders.
Okay.
Hopefully I never have to teach. 11,
12. Well, so these are about to go to college.
Yeah, they're adults.
Okay.
It's like I can't treat them as kids. Like they're adults to me. Like they have.
Sunday school has always been associated with kids in my head, like youngins. It's like Saturday school, right? It's always like the tutoring. Okay, Sunday school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a.
The barbell? Is this where we're going?
No. So there's a woman from the church who was like I don't know exactly her title, but she's like a director in the school system somewhere. Okay. And so I think she has a PhD in education, I believe. And so she's teaching us about like pedagogy, like how to teach kids. And so one of the things that she said that I actually learned in a different setting, but I thought it was interesting that it's explicitly like they tell you to do it for kids. It's like there's like these zones of learning where it's like there's things that kids already know and there's things that kids like can't possibly like get to. But there's like this little zone in between where it's like where they can with a little bit of assistance they can do this, and that's kind of like where you want them to be, where it's like that's like where they can grow and learn, where it's like they can't do it on their own but they can do it with a little bit of assistance. It's like okay, it's not like super hard, but it's like we can just push ourselves a little bit, we can be in this like zone of like
It's the sweet spot, they call it. When you're trying to learn a new skill, it can't be too hard, or else you're going to give up or not learn it well, versus too easy and to get bored. It's always that sweet spot. There's actually a name. I forgot the name of the theory or whatever concept, but I'm familiar with what you're talking about right now. Almost like a video game. If you're level 1 and your first encounter is like a level 50 boss, you keep dying from the first attack, you're not having fun. It's too hard. It's way too hard. Vice versa, if you log into this video game and you're just hitting level 1, killing everything from the get-go. It might be fun for a bit, but after maybe half a day of just mashing your spells and killing everything that's level 1, you get bored. So you need like an in-between that shows growth, and it gives you a build-up to eventually reach that level 50 monster where you can challenge it appropriately with the proper skills and whatnot. So I think it's a good idea. But being an adult 11, 12, what are you teaching them? Like what?
I'm hopefully teaching them nothing, but like,
what's your responsibility, first of all, for the Sunday school?
So I show up and I sit with the kids. I usually try and show up like a few minutes early and chat with whoever's sitting there alone.
I'm sure advice for college is plentiful from you.
If they want to talk about college, I mean, like, it's not like I don't know what every kid is doing. Like some kids, college is probably not a great choice. Other kids, like,
fair.
Like there's a kid who's at Harvard now. So it's like because you're not in Sunday school because you guys all had the same honors level grades. You're in Sunday school because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you or your parents want you to learn something about church. And it's just after church. So it's like you usually, like, you go to church and you go to Sunday school.
Curious.
Yeah.
I know this a little bit. This talk started with leadership. Do you think you're doing anything for, as we kind of get older? I hate to say the words, but as we get older, we're closer to 30 than 20. But as we kind of go through life, do you think you'll do any, so beyond Sunday school, anything else with your church, taking up a bigger leadership position down the road, do you think?
I don't know, like, I'm not sure I would say, like, I have aspirations to...
I'm just curious, because you are a very religious man, from my perspective. Like, I respect that a lot, and wholesomeness, and I think you're a very good leader. So I'm just curious, down the road, do you see yourself doing anything like that?
It's tough to say, like, I don't know, because at the end of the day, like, right now, I'm more invested in myself than in my community. Like,
Makes sense.
And the things that I want to do are generally more about, like, being better instead of bettering my community, which is, like, not really a great thing, and it's, like, a little self-centered, and I feel mixed about it. But, like, we haven't talked about this, but I'm, like, pursuing my master's in math at Northeastern right now.
Oh, don't know. When did you start?
In January.
Yeah, we definitely didn't talk about it. I was MIA.
Yeah. Yeah. But something I'm thinking about doing, or I'm going to do, is I'm going to apply to start in parallel my master's in theology, and hopefully next January.
Okay.
And then between those two things, I have a full-time job.
It's a
I
lot.
have regular church commitments on Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I run a book club, as you know, with our college friends.
Slow going strong?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's attendance is down, but the club still meets weekly.
Nice.
So it's like, I think everyone is down to like a 50% attendance rate, more or less, but that means like any given week there is a call between at least two people, and I think that achieves the goal. Like, we're all reading interesting things, discussing it, and talking to our friends on a regular basis, even if us as an individual, each of us individually don't do it every week. So I'm very happy with the way that it's going. And then on Thursday, my friend Alex and I do a book club that's like for the church, so it's all churchy books.
Nice.
I've been in the men's basketball league. We're taking a break for a little bit, but hopefully we go back to that. And then other than that, it's like I have on Wednesdays I work out with Noah. Thursdays I go for a run. Fridays the high schoolers have a regular Friday meeting. So it's like I just have like a lot of other.
You have your community.
I have my commitments and stuff, and I don't until some things are done, like the 2 masters are done, for example, or the book clubs die. Like, I don't really have the aspiration to expand what I'm doing.
No, I don't think you need. Your schedule sounds full already. I think it's good that you're active in general, right? I think one thing I realized as we kind of as you get your independence financially and all the leads you can think of as you become an adult, is no one's gonna save you from yourself. Meaning you could, if you could clear your schedule right now, sit and be home all day and clock out of work and play League of Legends all day, and you won't cause any harm to anyone.
Yeah.
Right, and you're an adult. And that's one thing I realized, that it really takes a lot of effort to make a schedule like yours, where you're active. You're actively trying to find connections, actively participating in X, Y, and Z. This is coming from, I grew up, in my suburb. I've seen classmates that I've reconnected from high school, and you not much has changed because they preferred comforts. And as you get older, no one's gonna push you to finish school. No one's gonna say anything if you don't want to do anything. And so it's good. I'm always excited when I see a friend that I knew growing up is just wanting to put themselves out there to do X, Y, and Z, and do want to do new things. That's why I'm like super excited when you told me about the podcast. I'm like, what? Like, my man, what?
I was worried you wouldn't want to come on, actually.
No, of course. I'm still to support, and I don't know how this is going to do. I don't know how I'm doing interviewing, but I find genuine joy in observing people explore interest and do new things. I think that was the appeal of doing anything in a leadership position was you have a vision, you have ideas, all up in here. And then you do them and they come in reality. That's the beauty of, I think, anything in terms of leadership is you have a vision and you do it. And it's your job to make sure you do it. Everyone's on board, everyone's on the same page, and just make it happen. And ideally make it fun while you're when you're trying to make this into reality. I always joke with my hometown friends too that we're gonna open up a steamed bun and boba shop as a side gig. Once we kind of get retirement money, just a couple of us get together and dish in and just get a little corner store, and we'll have ideas of only having 2 teas and making steamed buns and charging really cheap prices for high schoolers. That's the target audience.
I'm going to be there every day regardless.
That's fine. That's fine. You're a high schooler in my books, man. I'll give you the discount. But that appealed to me and my friends because I think we just genuinely enjoy the idea of we have this like crazy idea. We talk about so many times. We have this crazy idea, like it might not work because the food seems crazy right now. It's so competitive. Everything's via Instagram, or you have to have an item that pops. These old mom and pop shops don't survive anymore. But part of the appeal is just you have to make it happen. And who knows, maybe I will one day.
So I have 2 things that I want to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember Boba Me on Mission Hill.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I guess you didn't really live there, but
Yeah.
there was a boba shop there.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm friends with the owner. He ended up selling the place at some point, but he started it when he was at MCP getting his Farm D. So it's like if you want to do something like that, you definitely don't have to wait until some magical moment, right? And if you wanted to pursue that more seriously, I'd be happy to put you in contact with him. I love this guy. So
Future. I think the joke right now for the boba shop is when I finish my training, I have money settled, stashed away. That's the joke where it's a retirement hobby.
Sure. I mean,
But
I'm just saying if you want to do something like that,
yes,
it's not as like fantastical as you made it sound. You know, it's actually very reasonable.
I think part of the joke and appeal is the spot we want to do it at, it would be on the street we grew up in Quincy. It's called Billings Road, and it's just a strip of just cafes, restaurants, just a strip. A block or 2 full of restaurants. And I guess the dream right now is to get a corner store. There's probably a random convenience store there that's been around there for years. Ideally buy that space out, convert it to a cafe.
All right. I mean, whatever your dream is. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's we can make it happen if you guys want it. We could take steps towards it. We could figure out the logistics.
All right, give me 10, 15 years, all right? It'll be a while.
And the other thing I'll say is we were just in the Vatican in August, and there's a bunch of pasta places nearby. But the cheapest pasta place was like literally half the price of any of the other pasta places, and it was just like a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And it was easily the busiest, and it was actually the best pasta I had when I was in the area.
Simple.
And it was the largest serving, so it was like lowest priced, biggest serving. Maybe it wasn't the best pasta that I had, but it was like top 3.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can survive if that's your business model is you want to just do cheap food, like because like the margins at a lot of places are pretty high because they want to have wait staff or a big space. Like this is just like a tiny hole in the wall, you couldn't really eat inside it.
Yeah.
But they made the food fast. It was pretty fresh. It was really good, and like they could charge cheap prices. And because of that, they were the busiest place on the block. The line would go around the block because, well, why not get my pasta at half the price, twice the serving, and it's probably better from this place. So, if
We'll see.
it's your dream's a possibility. If now's not the right time to pursue it, so be it. But
I think I'll be curious where next 10 years take me. I think blink an eye. I'm 28. I just can't believe 20s went by. I'm not saying it's over, but I'm closer to 30 than 20. I just can't believe it flew. That's what I'm trying to get across. And 8 years ago, life was so different. So I'm curious of how.
8 years ago, was that when I met you?
Yeah. Well, I was 20, so it would be 2016. Yeah, probably. No, I didn't start college when I was 20. Probably a year or two. You met me by then. I think I was.
I met you like 2016, probably.
Yeah, I was 19 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19, maybe 20. I don't know. Time is murky, dude. But I don't know. I think it'd be interesting where life takes me next. No regrets. Honest. I think ideally right now is come back home. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope you can. I mean, it sounds like you will hopefully have an opportunity at least with what you have, with the interviews you have lined up. I feel like I have to imagine you're a pretty good interview.
Depends what questions they ask.
Yeah.
How they ask it, what they expect from me. But from what I've heard, family medicine's calmer personalities, nicer, generally. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Tonight's a nice warm up for it.
Yeah.
Get my vocal cords mobilized.
Yeah. Get used to be talking about your leadership experience and what you've learned in the past 8 years.
I really hate talking about myself.
I mean, you must have done it quite a bit by now. Did you had interviews, I'm sure, for med school, and I'm sure you had interviews for college, undergrad.
Turns out not really for some personality shift a lot. Not a lot for college. I kind of just took my first option of UMass Boston and called it a day. Northeastern I didn't even interview. I think I transferred out, so there was no interview needed. Really fortunate to get to Northeastern. God bless. Whoever read my essay said, yeah, we want this kid. Thank you. Honestly, yeah, I was not expecting to go to Northeastern. I just wrote, this was before the time of ChatGPT. I literally just wrote my essay because they had a transfer essays. Wrote it. Maybe proof spell checked it. Maybe. Submitted it. Wasn't expecting much because they wanted my SAT score. And it wasn't a great score. It wasn't bad. It was just average. It was an average score. So I wasn't expecting to come into Northeastern, but yeah.
I'm glad they took you.
Fate had it. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're staying in Boston. So, yeah, crazy how things work out in life. Yeah, never expect to be in Chicago after. Really count my blessings. I think I've seen some applicants, some residents even, they come from a lot better universities than Northeastern, but they might be at a crappier medical schools for some reason, somehow, when they have so much more resources at start. So I really count my blessings to, be at Rosalind Franklin. I know we're not, by no means an Ivy League, but still, I was just, sometimes when I kind of step out of the bubble and kind of look at the whole landscape of people that got into med school and are in training, yada, yada, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I did too bad. Not the best, but hey, definitely not the worst either. So I'm just kind of right there.
What do you mean better universities in the Northeastern? What do you mean?
Ivy League, right? Yeah, Northeastern #1. Huskies. Yeah. That's the wrong one, but you get it. Get the point.
All right. We can wrap this up. We can keep hanging out after. But
yeah, let's do that. All right. How do you close this thingy? What do you do?
I don't have a closing.
Follow me, Twitch and Twitter.
I don't have a closeout thing.
Like and subscribe. I
feel like I do need a closing statement, but mostly I'm just gonna let you know that based on our conversation, you should recommend. Well, I'm gonna get a guest out of you whether you want to or not. But
I recommend Kate.
Kate?
I think Kate.
Well, okay. I know Kate. Recommend me someone I don't know.
I think she'll be great though.
The
thought came up as we were talking about in UPL, and then we referenced Kim. Wait a minute. I think she'll fit really greatly with this lineup.
I was thinking about asking her anyways, but she would start her own little branch.
Oh, okay. All right.
I also don't know if she'll say yes.
I don't know. I don't think so either. Unless her personality has changed, I don't think.
No, I mean, well, she's similar to how you remember her, I think.
Okay. I can't imagine her sitting here and doing.
I would take a Zoom call, or I would do it after an appointment. I would take a late appointment and do it at the end of her shift or something. But
that could work. That could work.
Yeah, I'll ask Kate, but no, find me someone I don't know already.
All right, I don't know how, but I'll try my best.
Kate would be a good interview. What?
I think Kate would be a good interview. Yeah. I think she'll have some great stories to tell you. For sure. I don't know how helpful mine were, but
I thought it was great. I thought I got a lot of good insight out of this. We talked a lot about leadership, taking what life gives you.
Yeah.
We spoke for an hour. I'm gonna have to get an AI to tell me what happened in this. The AI summary.
All right. Like and subscribe. Follow my boy on Twitter.
I don't have a Twitter. And I deactivated Instagram.
Get him on Instagram at Khalil, Lord of Blackwood.
That wasn't even my handle when I had it.
Yes, it was. It was Blackwood.
Sir Mike, Lord of Blackwood.
There you go. You got it right there.
But it's deactivated, so you can't even follow me.
We'll find it.
We'll make a new one?
We'll make a new one.
All right.
Thank you.